we talked a bit about fan art, and I have the same conversation with so many people. Like I talked to Shush, I talked to Greg, and we all have the same agreement that without falling into the trap of doing only fan art, I do think it's one of the best ways to get yourself out there. Because to me, at least, making fan art brings me joy because then you draw something you enjoy.
Yeah.
And the fun thing is that other people also enjoy that. So they can resonate and vibrate with what you do. And in a way, you did the Tinder Skitty thing and it blew up. And
Yeah.
it attracted people. But now these people are following you for what you do. And chances are that if you make an original project, you'll have more eyeballs on it. And that's really nice to see.
Yeah, and honestly, as far as the fan art thing goes, and take this with a grain of salt when it comes to like the whole what will be successful, what doesn't, that kind of and following trends in fan art. What I have learned when it comes to fan art specifically that I think really helps with when you post stuff. Obviously, post if you're gonna post fan art, make it something that like you're really into and not just any random stuff out there. Like, only if you're just big into Pokemon, make Pokemon fan art, that kind of stuff. Don't worry about trying to make fan art of a popular anime or movie that you've never seen, like that kind of stuff. Don't try to like follow those trends too often. I would suggest. But what I would suggest more than anything is that what I think really does work to make like interesting fan art, if I were to suggest any way of approaching it, is like, and this is kind of what made, if I were to equate anything to how Tinder Skitty like resonated with people, it's that it's finding a new angle or way to interpret something you like. Because that helps to distinguish it and separate it a bit, if that makes sense, and give it like more of a personal flourish and identity to it. Like, for instance, when it comes to Tinder Skitty, for example, the core of it is based on something that for a lot of the internet for many years was just kind of a like just crude inside joke kind of, right? Like it was basically, oh, these two Pokemon can breed in the game. But like, like how would that work? Ha ha, everyone made that joke. But I think if I were to equate anything that really sticks out for people as to why Tinder Skitty really resonates with them, is that it's that concept, but subverted to be more wholesome and much more of a grounded relationship between two loving characters rather than always banking on the meme or the joke. I
And you know
think
what I
is
like about your comic too? And I don't know if did you see the Lego Batman movie?
yes, I have seen Lego Batman, yeah.
Right. What I love about that movie is that it's not a Lego movie. It's a
It's
Batman
not.
movie that
No.
ever so happens to be made out of Legos. And your comic is not a Pokemon comic. It's a comic that ever so happened to be portrayed by Pokemon characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I were to agree with anything with Tinder Skitty, it's that. I'm glad that it's kind of has like its own identity separate from Pokemon in a way. Because like that's kind of the point. It's meant to be this thing that is distinct enough that it's not just like a general fan art or portrait or a whatever of like a character or a thing. Like it's something, it's a little extra. It's one of those things where the concept is as simple as, but what if this and this with Pokemon, right? And you just kind of explore that idea, think of like interesting ways to interpret and bring that idea to life. And I think that will speak volumes with people. Like another thing that works well that I've seen people enjoy is like crossovers and mashups, right? Like
Yeah.
if you love two kinds of if you love two shows or like two properties a lot, why not just interpret what they'd be like together? And I think that's what helps make it stand out and what helps people pay attention to it a bit more. It's like, oh wow, it's Pokemon, but like imagine Pokemon mixed with Elden Ring, for example. Imagine a world that looks like that.
And I feel trying to find like a community to be a part of and like to post your art, I think is important. Like do you remember back then when we tried to have like a little Facebook group to so people could post whatever they were doing. And
Oh, yeah, 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 I
now
remember
we have Discord and stuff. But
that.
this helped
Yeah.
so much because now instead of having no one to knock ideas with, we had someone to talk to. Even if you're not super close to the people, like just having people to bring each other up is so important. So don't do like our mentor said. Don't isolate yourself alone in your basement and doing your work. Like you're a human. Talk to people.
Yeah, yeah, and take it from someone who totally feels social anxiety and loves to hermit a lot.
Yep.
It's more beneficial in the long run, take it from me, to, like, actually just keep up the discipline of putting yourself out there and socializing with people because, again, it's like what you say about art where you lose 100% of the shots you don't take. The same thing happens with, socializing. And I'm not saying like, force yourself all the time, if you
Oh
need
yeah, because
downtime
it's
to
not
be with
easy
your
for everyone, and I respect that. But
exactly, and it's not
it
always
does
for
help.
everyone the same way, but like if you find a good group that you feel that you trust and you're happy to be a part of, um I hope that you can feel confident enough to always like at least put yourself out there enough to, be part of their lives as much as they're part of yours when you can. Um I don't know. It's tricky to say because like I just understand how social anxiety can be and how like even with like good friends and groups you can be part of, that stress can still be there sometimes. But the hardest thing to learn is to just like always confidently put yourself out there, even if you're worried like it'll backfire on you or like blow up in your face or whatever. But that's also part and parcel with the whole aspect of like expectation. 9 times out of 10, like no one is thinking what you're thinking they're thinking of you. Like, and that's something I've had to relearn several times. Like I would be thinking, oh man, if I join, like if I hang out with my usual friends, will they think I'm weird or odd? And
Yeah.
it's like, no, no, they won't.